What's going on, Viking fans? This is Justin in Rochester with Purple and Gold for Days. Hope you're staying warm in this weekend winter wonderland. Yeah, guess that whiteout wasn't such a bad idea. We're going to talk about some playoff positioning seedings, and is it possible that a fraudulent team can have multiple Pro Bowlers? We'll find out. The Vikings are currently sitting at the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs, having clinched the division last week. Their magic number is 3 to clinch the 2 seed outright, meaning that they need to either win 3 games or any combination of wins and losses by the San Francisco 49ers. Technically, there is still a small possibility that they could actually still get the 1 seed. The Vikings would have to win all 3 games, and Philly would have to lose all 3 games. I seriously doubt that contingency is even possible. Even without Jalen Hurts, yes, they might lose to the Cowboys this weekend, but then they've got the Saints and then they've got the Giants. I just don't see it happening. So for now, we're just going to assume Philly's going to be the 1 seed here. Now, the Vikings cannot fall any lower than the 3 seed because Tampa Bay or whoever wins that garbage NFC South is locked into the 4 slot. Dallas, most likely, although there are some scenarios, but highly unlikely, Dallas will be the 5th seed. So what we have left here is that the Vikings and the 49ers will be fighting for that 2 and 3 spot. Now, why is it important? Well, obviously, if both teams win in the first round of the playoffs, the 2 seed is going to host the 3. Simple math. And I've been saying since about week 5 or 6 that the San Francisco 49ers are the one team that probably poses the most matchup issues to the Minnesota Vikings. As much as this is a passing league skewed towards the offense, the game is still won in the trenches. And the 49ers offensive and defensive lines, in my opinion, is the best combination, and they would pose matchup problems for the Vikings. So I would much rather that game be played at US Bank Stadium versus us going out to San Francisco, because if we did, I kind of see it more likely than not that we're going to have a repeat of the 2019 divisional round playoffs in which the Vikings really had no chance. So what's that going to entail? Well, I'm not going to say again that the Detroit Lions loss was crippling and huge, but it did lose your margin for error because now you've got to play it out. Yes, the Vikings do still control their own destiny. If they win their last 3 games, they have the 2 seed. But because there's only one bye now, you always want to treat week 18 as your pseudo bye if you're not the 1 seed. And against the Chicago Bears in Chicago, and as cold as it has been right now and probably will be in a couple weeks, that is a game I do not want to see any of the Vikings key players be playing in. So the ideal scenario is the Vikings get their next 2 against the Giants and Packers, and somehow, some way, San Francisco drops 1. But San Francisco's got the Washington Commanders this weekend, which is the most likely loss on their schedule because they've got the Vegas Raiders next week. I doubt that. And they have the Arizona Cardinals in week 18 if that game is necessary for them. Being that Washington is still fighting for their playoff lives, it's a good opportunity for the San Francisco 49ers to lose this weekend. So if you win this weekend, San Francisco loses, you can clinch the number 2 seed in Green Bay next week. And if by some chance the Packers actually beat the Miami Dolphins, it would be even sweeter to just say your playoff hopes are done. Question on the table is, if you do not have the ability to clinch the 2 seed by next week, do you play your starters in Chicago? Do you risk injury to Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Zadarius Smith? Obviously, we want our cake and eat it too. We want the best of both worlds. We want to be able to have that 2 seed clinch because, again, to me, if this Vikings team is going to go on a run, if they are going to be able to pay off this incredible season with playoff victories, I want as many of those games in US Bank Stadium as possible. Hopefully, we can get a little help from the Washington Commanders, get them to knock San Francisco down. Because San Francisco, if Vikings and San Francisco are tied, would have the tiebreaker due to the fact that they have a better conference record than we do. Got to get that 2 seed. It's imperative. It's still going to be a toss-up game between the 49ers and the Vikings in US Bank Stadium. But out in San Francisco would be probably a 4 to 6 point favorite, to be honest with you. Not saying the Vikings can't win in San Francisco. I'm saying it would obviously be a lot easier at home, and I like our chances a lot better. Pro Bowl announcements were made yesterday. Amazing. This mediocre, fraudulent team has 5 Pro Bowlers: Kirk Cousins, Zadarius Smith, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Andrew DePaula. Congratulations on your first Pro Bowl voting. This is the first long snapper in Vikings history to make the Pro Bowl. After all those years of the superstar Mike Morris being the best long snapper in the league, he never got a Pro Bowl vote. Congratulations to all the Vikings Pro Bowlers, as well as the alternates. I still don't know how Harrison Smith is not a Pro Bowler, and I really don't know how Christian Darrisaw is not a Pro Bowler. But at the end of the day, we're hoping none of those guys are going to play in the Pro Bowl anyway, right? That all said, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Put it in the comments. Should the Vikings absolutely be playing their starters in Week 18 against the Bears in Soldier Field if the 2 seed has not been locked up? Or if by some miracle we still have a shot at the 1? Or should we just be concerned about making sure we have all of our players at full strength? That's the questions on the table. Please share this with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe, as we said. Catch you on the flip side for the preview show. For now, stay warm and Skol Vikes.